start us from the beginning then, Brian. Enlighten us with this story. I am intrigued.
Wow.
Man.
Okay. So we've got to go back a few decades for this, right? So we are looking at where are we now. So I was about 19 years old. So it was about 1991, I think. So at that time.
The height of the rock.
It was the height of the rock. Your Bon Jovis, your Motley Crues, your Guns N' Roses, AC/DCs, Def Leppards. They were all at the top of the charts. You know, it was a big thing, and of course we were on that bandwagon, and we loved it. We loved everything that the rock and roll lifestyle brought us at that time. Imagine me back then. I had the long hair, and as a person, I always wanted to be able to play an instrument. Never had the courage to try and
that's the reason why you had the long hair, wasn't it? It's just
it was exactly that.
Literally, wasn't it? 100%.
All the girls loved the rockers that could play the guitars and the drums. I just wanted a piece of that action.
Man.
So, and we had there was 4 guys, and we just come together one day and said, you know, let's do it. Why can't we not start a band? You know, so over a few pints in the pub. I think it was newly opened Moon Underwater pub. So anyway, we sat around a table and we were like, yeah, let's do this. We can do this. You know.
Did you have like any sort of specific genre that you thought that you might like?
Well, no. At that time, we didn't even know what instruments we wanted to play. I just knew that I was a lover of Tommy Lee and Motley Crue.
Oh yeah, okay,
Tommy Lee, and I'd been to see him at Wembley Arena like a couple of weeks before that. And he went upside down on the drum kit.
On the rotating stage.
Proper cool. And I wanted to be Tommy Lee for that very reason, you know.
Fair play.
So it's like I put my dibs in. I said, right, I want to play the drums. And none of us could play an instrument, but that was fine because one of our other friends sitting around the table was very much into his thrash metal, death metal, and he said, look, don't worry, guys. He said, let's get the confidence. He said, let's put together a thrash metal band. Oh, no. And at the time, I was a little bit unsure about that because it wasn't quite where I wanted to go in my head.
Okay.
So anyway, so we agreed. You know, he said, look, it's a good starting point. So the next few weeks, we all managed out of our weekly wage. I think at the time I was working as a postman. I was earning £70 a week. I was giving my mum and dad at the time £40. I was left with £30.
30 quid.
I know, 30 quid a week at the back in the day.
Back in the day, look at you.
So I think I saved up four weeks or about a month's worth of salary to buy myself a little drum kit. And still not knowing where I was going to start with it. But I had my drum kit. I had a drum kit.
Was it second hand or was
it
brand new?
It was second hand.
Second hand.
Okay. And everyone else got their guitars.
And let me guess, you got it out the back of the newspaper.
It was literally advertised in a newspaper.
No eBay back in them days.
No, online. So anyway, I had a paper, got it. Picked it up in my Mark II Escort that I had at the time.
Yes,
crammed it all in there. It was hanging out the window and all that because it was far too big for my car. And so we got together and led by our lead singer who liked his thrash metal. Well, we got together a song. We got together a song.
You didn't?
Huh?
What, 4 people that can't even play an instrument and you got together a song?
We got together a song. It was called Beast. Okay, so this was going to be the first of our songs on our album, right? It was called Beast. And those that know and respect the thrash metal scene know there's quite a lot of playing and a lot of shouting involved. Okay, so the basis of our song was that we'd have the guitar opening, and it would have there was a song back in the day, Slayer played a song called Rain and Blood.
Oh no!
So the guitarist had a very simple chord, and all it would go is this is when I come in. That was my bit on my moment. All we had to do was go faster on that, and I'll do the in between. So it went something like until we got to a point where we were overlapping each other, and then the lead singer would just shout out the word beast probably about 400 times repeatedly.
Shush.
While I was just bang, bang, bang. Every time he said beast, I was banging. Guitarist was still going. The other guitarist decided to kick in at this point and do his thing. I had no idea. No idea what he was doing. He was just like, whatever. Anyway, it was a noise, right? And anyway, we finished with beast, stopped. We were like, we've got a hit single here.
Oh my God!
This is literally going to compete with the Sweet Child of Mine. I think that was around that.
So you're telling me that you had no chord structure, no prior knowledge, no lessons, no tuition, nothing. But your guitarist had come up with a little lick, little riff, and then your other guitarist put something on top of that, and you just whacked the pots.
Absolutely. To us, we had the next £1 million selling single on our hands.
And was the singer just singing, just that one word?
Literally, beast, 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 beast. So obviously we wanted to then go on and try and see what else we could bring to the table.
So there's more to this. It's not just you just playing in your bedroom.
We got together for I think it was our third get together. It wasn't even a rehearsal because you can't recall what we were doing with the rehearsal. Our third get together, and the lead singer came in and said, I've got a gig for us, Scott. We've got a gig. I thought, we've only got one song. You know, and so there's me thinking we're going to get together some more material. He said, yeah. He said, he goes, we're going to start small. He said, don't get carried away. Our first gig was at the Southgate Scout Hut. If you've not been there, it can hold about 80 people max. He said, but the guy can't pay us. He can't pay us. All he can give us is a bottle of Jack Daniels each.
Oh, that's rock and roll as anything. Sold.
Honestly, I did not need paying. So anyway,
sold.
Cut a long story short, we were so het up on that, we forgot about putting some more material together. So oh God! So on the day we've turned up, and we're then told that we are supporting a group, a glam rock group. So you all your new romantics from the 80s, all your Duran Durans have gone into the rock scene.
No.
On come them nice hair, they were looking good. And to be fair, put in a death metal band as a support to a glam probably wasn't the best idea.
No, you wouldn't have thought
You wouldn't
so.
put them together.
Oh,
So we'd gone out, we'd taken this so seriously. We'd bought leather jackets. We'd put our back. We've got a band name now. We're called One Too Many. Number one, number two, and the word many.
So nobody actually got confused with like 12 too many.
No.
Oh no! Did you say?
Do you know what? It could actually have read 12 many.
So you actually had the number one, number two, and then many.
Yeah.
So 12 many.
We all had that logo at the bottom, a bit like T-Birds from Greece.
Hey!
We all had the logo on the back of our leather jacket. And we turned up at this Scout Hut, and like I say, it weren't Wembley Arena, but it was our first gig. We started unloading my Mark II Escort with all the gear, and I think we made a lot banged out Fiesta as well. He's bringing out all his bits. Anyway, we've started putting it up on the outside of the Scout Hut because they weren't quite open yet. But the guy turned up who was running it. He said, "There you go, guys. Thanks, Tony. Here's your bottle of Jack Daniels each." We're like, "Oh, fair play."
So he's paid you before.
Paid beforehand, yeah. So which was really, really cool. And so we thought, well, let's have a little drink before and give a bit of Dutch courage or whatever,
No, you don't drink before a gig, Brian. Oh no!
In 1991, mate. In 1991,
Will has arrived in the building.
Wow, that's rock and roll.
Will is here.
That is rock and
Will
roll.
is on rock and roll. Yes, brother. How are you?
How we doing? How we doing? You alright?
Yeah.
Good.
Fashionably late.
That's all right, mate. Don't worry. We've got banjos here. Banjo filled your place for a bit. He held you up. Right. So basically, Brian, just give Will a real quick through.
Right, so we're just talking about back in the day, 1991. I wanted to be a would-be rock star. Got together with 4 friends. I bought myself a drum kit. I wanted to be the drummer. None of us could play. One of the guys decided that actually it didn't matter if we could play, because if we played thrash metal, no one would understand it anyway. So we got together one song. It was great. He then got us a gig supporting a glam rock band at Southgate Scout Hut. Okay, so we took this really seriously, right? We got leather coats when we're getting paid with a bottle of Jack Daniels, and where we're at the moment is that we're outside waiting to go into this gig. We've just done half a bottle of Jack Daniels that we've been paid with all our gear still outside, right? And loads of glam rockers are going in, all their eyeliner, makeup, nice hair, and So, but
you hadn't heard about glam rock or like the fact that there was glam rock.
We were hoping that they wouldn't accept us and that we'd get booed off
before they even started.
This was our experience. We were doing it for the bottle of Jack Daniels and the experience of getting a first gig.
How drunk were you at this stage on a scale of 1 to 10?
10.
10.
Completely.
10.
Well, yeah, half a bottle of JD, mate.
And it was a warm day.
That's what I said.
Oh, God.
Right, we've set up all our gear, and we're looking at each other. He's turned around and said, "Don't worry." He said, "Look at them all. They're all drinking their beer. he said, all them bottles are going to come flying our way. He said, as soon as we start, they realise that we are thrash, death metal, whatever you wanted to call it at the time, and it's not their scene. But I was living my moment. I'd always wanted to be a drummer. I had Tommy Lee on my wall. Literally, I had a poster of him on my wall with his drum kit upside down from Motley Crue. And I was there. I was in front of a crowd with a drum kit. At that moment, this was my moment. You know, this is my moment,
spotlight.
So anyway,
in the Scout Hut.
In the Scout Hut. South Beach Scout. It's a pretty good venue, to be fair. It was time. We were run overdue, but that's pretty rock and roll anyway. I mean, you know what it's like turning up late to things. Now they've started looking at the band, and you can see them, they're trying to work us out. Because we are not your typical glam rockers. We've not got eyeliner, lipstick, fuzzy hair. You know, we've got grungy hair. You know, we've got leather jackets, ripped jeans. You know, we're...
Whole different vibe.
Yeah, and they're looking, thinking, this is not who we've come to see. The band they've come to see are at the bar. They're having a couple of drinks before they've got to come on. Anyway, so Lee said, don't worry. He said, don't worry, just follow my lead. Right, so we're like, okay, whatever you say. I'm getting ready for this. I'm bracing myself. Anyway, so he's turned round to the crowd. He said, thanks for coming, right? In a weird voice. He said, we're called One Too Many. That was the name of our band. He goes, and we're going to sing you a song. This is our first song, right? First song called Beast. Okay, and he goes something like this. Right, so the guitarist kicks in with a little bit Raining Blood from Slough. So he comes, he goes, it's my moment. I'm looking around. I'm now sitting upright, you know, and he comes in.
Oh no!
And all they're sort of looking, thinking. You can see the crowd looking, what is going on. Anyway, he's getting faster. Right, the other guitarist still hasn't got a clue what he's doing. He's looking around thinking, what do I do? No, he doesn't even know when to come in. Anyway, lead singer just turns around and goes, Beast! Top of his voice, right? That just cues all of us to go a little bit mad, right? So now I'm banging. He's going, Beast, 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 right? The two guitarists.
So you were literally all just playing Beast, Beast.
We are waiting. We are waiting for the bottles to come, and we're all looking up like this. I go, Beast, Beast, Beast. He's going, Beast, Beast. We're all looking. Our eyes are wide open. We're looking for a bottle. Anyway, he's come up about 3 minutes of doing this banging like this. Same thing. There was no chorus, it was just the same thing. This was our hit song. We thought we had a hit song. When we played it through, it wasn't. Right, so he's gone like this. And it's a special moment. But he turned around to Ray, he went, and Beast! Boom! We all cut dead. Guitarist stopped, drum stopped, he stopped. It all went silent. And we're like, here comes the bottles now, the bottles are coming. Right, anyway, he looked up, and all of the glam rockers were all around. More!
Shut up! No!
Banging our heads, we're like, oh, okay. And he's looked at me and he's just shrugged his shoulders.
You haven't got any more songs?
I've no backup plan. There is no backup plan. But this crowd now loving this song.
So what did you do? Did you improvise?
So we did a little bit.
Yeah.
So he's turned back round to it. He went, follow my lead. We're like, he's turned around to the crowd and he's gone, you loved it the first time, we're going to play again.
Oh, no!
This is a song called Beast.
Again.
Right, no word of a lie. And they're proper into it now. They're head banging in circles. They're all giving it like that. And they're really into it. We're like, shit. Right, anyway, it weren't until we played it to the end of the third time that we played it that they realised we didn't have any more material. Right? Then the first bottle came in. Now I'm thinking, this is it. This is rock and roll. We've made it now.
It comes in.
Literally, we put the funny thing is, right, we did get booed off. Right, we got booed off at that point, and we all hurried out and scurried out. But then we realised, bugger, we've got to go back and get our kit out for the next band.
Oh no!
Right, now we're the most hated band in probably the whole of Southgate. And now we've got to go back and get our kit. So during a sort of a slight interval, we kind of just sort of worked our way in without trying to talk to me. And the amount of obscenities, I can't tell. I've never to this day received so many. But it didn't matter because outside waiting for me, just round the step, was my other half of my body.
Reward!
See it all.
But the problem is, then the second problem was, we loaded it all up, got everything out, we're out. The glam rock band were really good. They had some really good material. You know, we were listening from outside because we daren't go back inside. But then we realised we'd had so much to drink, we actually couldn't drive.
Oh no!
It's responsible.
So we were responsible rockers.
Of course.
So we slept in the car park that night, a Southgate Scout hut, till the very next morning. We didn't get beaten up. We didn't get any more bottles thrown at us. And we left there.
That was a
story. And you know what? We went away from that. I mean, right? We kind of, the band broke up after that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You know, we wasn't really going anywhere. We could see with it. And although none of us really had the passion to want to learn to play an instrument, the desire to play it was there.
Yeah.
We all wanted to be in a band. We all wanted to give it a go.
Yeah. How many memories could you sit there? Like the only story that I've got from when I played a gig once is I was 18. I just turned 18, so I'd obviously just started having a beer and that. And it was a gig at a local venue, and I'd had the beers, it was a summer night. I'd been sweating. I was proper sweating so hard, and I just had people kept bringing me beers. This is through the set though, so it wasn't beforehand.
Right.
It wasn't before it started.
I mean, we weren't drinking during playing.
Fair. But then I realised I got to the end of the gig and I'd had so much that I was so drunk. We were packing up at the end of the gig, and I had my kick drum, my bass drum, and I had my porthole, so the hole on the front to let the air out the front of the kit, and I slipped on one of my beer bottles on the stage. Literally had my bass drum in my hand. Bass drum went down. I full on somersaulted, head straight through the bass drum over the top, and then I'm sat up with this bass drum on the top of my head where I've gone full 360 over, and I've just got this bass drum on my head, and I've cut all the side of my face on the skin and everything. But that again, that's as fun as a story as it gets for me. The thing is though, is that was just a drunken idiocy mistake at 18 years old. That's not really a story or a memory. That's just me being an idiot and forgetting
your story. That's a whole
you can be anyone, anything, have no knowledge whatsoever, and just go and have it. Get up there. Like, what is the worst that's going to happen? Have you ever seen one of those people ever again in your life?
Do you know what I'm thinking for your dramathon? With a little bit of reunion.
Let's have that. Let's find that.
Absolutely.
Mate.
Unleash the beast. Wow.
Unleash the beast.
But it is music that gives you that memory, isn't it?
It is.
It is. Yeah. It's more than just the music. When you see like people play live, it's more about like the dynamics between people and like how they are on stage and how they hype everyone up. And
absolutely.
It brings people together. That's the power of music. It's
because it actually creates like a personality, doesn't it? It creates a personality for you. But your lead singer, like out in the midst of things, he was probably quite calm, quite collected. He was all right, just chill. But then up on stage,
exactly.
How you can bring that out is
and the thing is, that's a memory for us, but I would imagine there was 60, 70 people in that crowd that actually walked away and now had that memory. Do you remember that thrash metal band? I've sung that song 3 times. So that music is a memory for them, but in a different sense.
And
you know what I mean?
And it doesn't matter how many people. I didn't even realise that there's a couple of our adults that come, and they're like, we come as a mental health thing. For me, it's a break away from reality. And that blew my mind, didn't it? I've been doing this for like nearly 20 years, and I hadn't even remotely considered the mental health impact that could have. Not just unlocking memories, not creating memories, but also break away from reality.
Anxiety, confidence, all of those things.
All of that.
Community as well.
It's
when
mental.
we're drumming there with our samba drums, we're all so in sync, and it just feels so good to be like as one in unison.
100%, absolutely, And then the last festival, we were chucking it down with rain, wasn't it? So when we were all still there, we were still giving it large, and then we even again broke out into it. Put him on the spot though, didn't we?
It could stem back, that having that anxiety before performing at Southgate Scout Hut, to then having the confidence afterwards, thinking, I've done that. I can now go. Who knows? Who knows? Would I have got up on stage at the parade?
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Festival, if it hadn't been for South Coast
Did you
Shout?
channel that energy?
I did. It took me right back, thinking you can do this. Yeah. It doesn't matter if they all throw bottles from on stage at the festival. It's fine.
They're all plastic.
It's all right. Yeah, it's all plastic. Yes.
But it was like, it's more the thing that when you started going, and I don't know the words right now, you got blood on your face. But everybody, like the amount of people that I've said that spoke to me at the end, just said how you could just break out into that.
I got a bit of that like performance anxiety now. I'm playing down at the rugby club tomorrow. And it's my first gig in probably like 2 months, so there is that feeling again. And it doesn't go away. I've learned to just like accept it and just be like, you know what, that feeling's gonna be there. I know I can break through it. Whatever happens. I'm just gonna go and give my energy on stage.
Absolutely. And that is the whole thing.
I'm a different guy on stage. Like usually I'm quite like
reserved. When you're on stage,
quiet. But on stage I just turn into like
animal.
So would you be interested in joining? If I can't reform the One Too Many, I mean, we need a lead singer, it may be. I think if we can't reform the old band,
I'm like the loudest human being on the planet.
Simon would be
I could scream that out.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'd like to play the drums.
Yeah,
I feel like
you do the drums, and then you could easily triangle. You could do the surely you could do that easy. Well, Brian, thank you so much for sharing that story, man. Like that is, it's just epic.
Honestly, I haven't shared that with many people, if any. But
thank you for sharing it with us. And now, like, however many people do view this, for like 5 minutes.
Record, it wasn't actually thrash rock. Performers are very, very talented.
All right? Unbelievable.
I wouldn't like to put us in the same category of they can't play, because they are probably the best at the best at what they to be able to do and achieve what they do at that speed. Is.
But yeah, Brian, thank you so much, man.
Appreciate you. If you need me,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm out of here.
Thank you very much. Don't smash up your mug on the way out. So that was Brian, guys. So he's been very heavily involved in the stuff like in the local community, like doing events organisation as well. He does a lot of events organisation for one of the local residential homes as well. He does a fantastic job, and as you can see, full of life, full of zest, full of energy, and a lot of it is all based just because of his love of music. Like his passion of music is
give
crazy.
Give it a go, rock on! Woo!
Oh man, I love it.
Oh, what just happened?
He's built for it. He is built for it.
He's a born performer. Like if you see him at like the festival, like we did an improvisation like thing of like we will rock you, and he just started up on stage. He didn't even know the words, but he still stood up there and sang it in front of thousands of people.
In a full, what was the outfit?
The Greatest Showman outfit.
It, yeah.
Oh, mate, honestly, it was just, he's a brilliant guy. But again, that all stems from the fact that he can have these experiences like through music and stuff. And remember, like, this is a guy that's never had a lesson of musical instruments or anything before in the past. This is a guy who's just completely passionate about it, yet his confidence is brimming through performance and events organisations and stuff like that. And that can be anyone. So just know that music plays a big part in a lot of people's lives. And I know that I'm going to take that story for a long time.
Yes.
That is a funny story. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. We were joined today by Banjo, and we will see as our special guest for our drumathon on the 21st and 22nd of June. And hopefully we will see you at that one. All right, thanks, guys. Take care. See you soon.